Hi Tim, thanks very much for joining V4.
Hi.
Could you maybe just give our viewers a bit of background about Ault and where you started and where you are now?
Okay. Well, today we're a business of 18 people based here in Oxford. Our offices are just off St Clement's in the centre of Oxford. We're software developers, so we build bespoke software systems for local businesses and other organisations. Most of our work is in Oxfordshire and surrounding counties, a bit in London. And that's where you asked where we've sort of come from. Actually, the business started out with just me doing freelance software and web work, and we're still doing the same kind of work. It's just grown to a point where we're more people, and thankfully I'm not actually writing any code anymore.
Correct me if I'm wrong, are you a teacher by trade?
Well, not these days, but you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. I've taught, I've spent quite a few years teaching. I guess I had two careers in parallel. I did teaching for a few years, did IT for a few years, because I worked in big banks as well as a developer as well. I was called an analyst programmer in those days. And also taught classics, which is my degree, and English language abroad, and then taught IT most recently.
So I presume with a predominantly younger workforce, you feel a bit like the teacher in charge still, do you?
Try not to be too much of a teacher in charge, but no, it's fed into lots of things. I think it's a nice question, Richard. I think I'm very keen on developing young people and giving people the opportunity to grow and develop their careers and their skills. I think as a business we have definitely a no blame culture. I think we're accepting that people sometimes make mistakes, but that's the only way you can learn. And I try to encourage people to do their best, but we don't get the stick out when things go wrong, which they can occasionally do. We try to encourage people to be open about what they're doing and to help each other. And we're also very committed to trying to help young people still at school with things like work experience. We had two young people here last week doing work experience, which went fantastically well. So very committed to doing those things. Yeah.
And the sorts of clients that you work for, could you maybe give some examples of who you have worked for and what sort of sectors and what sort of work you've delivered for them?
Yeah, well, it's a hard question to answer because there are so many different things that we do. We build bespoke software, so every system we write actually is different from the previous system. And we write systems because people ask us to, whether it's to model a business process, to become more efficient. In some cases, people ask us to build a bit of software to deliver a service to clients. It could be a sort of web-based portal when they deliver services to their clients. Or it could be a bit of software they then want to own the IP and then go on and sell on to others. So all sorts of things. And we've done that for many organisations around the place, for both universities, university departments here, businesses, charities, big range.
And you're saying it's a buoyant time for Ault at the moment. Do you see any sign of that needing to explode further and plans for the future? You're looking at recruiting more?
We've just appointed somebody this morning, I'm pleased to say, who's actually a member of staff actually who used to be here and went away somewhere else and has come back. So I heard that news yesterday. So I'm really pleased about that. That's a nice bit of news. We've over the years we have grown steadily and sensibly. It's always been my plan that the business should gradually go like that, gradually grow. We've done that organically through doing good work, looking after people, getting a reputation for being good at what we do and good people to work with. And the business has gradually grown. So we're, nearly 20 people now. Our plan is to be, I would say, 30 people by 2020. So it's a gradual, steady, a manageable growth, but a plan to grow. And I'm confident we can do that.
So if there are anybody watching the video today, the interview, and thinking how Ault could help them, lots of things you can do for businesses. It might be a bit of a scary prospect to think that a business might need to engage with somebody like yourselves, but I'm sure there's a cross-section of things that you can do at various levels that can help businesses.
Examples we can do.
Yeah.
I think what we say is that we want to work with people, because it is a partnership, with people where the systems that we build are really important for their business in terms of them being able to grow. So software that allows them to do things more efficiently, software that allows their business to go from here to here. And so that's, all sorts of projects, but those are the kind of things I think people know when they need that kind of thing, and we're here and we can do it for them.
Websites for many companies or software development, you're going into the unknown to a certain extent. So Ault, I'm sure, past masters at looking after their customers during the process and after. Mm-hmm. So what else can we maybe add to Ault's sort of integrity and credibility that reassures the customers?
Thanks, Richard. Well, I hope we've got a good reputation out there for looking after people. We certainly do our best to do that. We've got tried and tested ways of running projects, right from the very beginning, working out what's needed all the way through the design and development process. So we've got well-established ways of running projects to make sure that collaboration with you goes as well as it possibly can do, and that you end up with the the best result you can possibly get. And then it doesn't end there. We're here to support you, to look after you going forward as you begin to use the system that we've built for you, and make sure that you get the best possible value you can from your software going forward.
And security is obviously an issue for all of us. Potential cyber attacks left, right and centre on all sorts of devices. So protecting the client from that threat.
Yeah, I mean, I think the world's changed, hasn't it? From 10 years ago, you could create a website, bit of software, stick it up there, and it would kind of be fine. But these days, no. These days, you have to be keeping on your toes. You need to, when you build software, you need to be very aware of doing it in the right way, so that you don't introduce vulnerabilities into it, ways that people can get into it. Yes, I mean, I think for us, security is a big priority, and we've worked hard to make sure that we've got hosting platform, a way of doing hosting for web and software, which is really robust. So lots of measures there, lots of scanners and ways of stopping the hackers from getting in. But equally important, if people do get in, that we find out about it, then we get alerted and we can limit the damage that happens, and that we know about it, so we can do something about it quickly. So we've worked hard to have a really strong offering on the security side. And
GDPR is something that a lot of us have heard about but might not know too much about. If you've got any comments that you'd like to, or what are your thoughts about GDPR coming next year?
I think I would say that a lot of people are not ready for it yet, and if people need advice on that, we can help them there as well.
Brilliant. Tim, thank you very much for your time this morning, and we look forward to seeing you soon.